Hello model railroad fans. In today's video we're going to take a look at this Bachmann GP40 DCC locomotive. So give me just 1 second and I will be right back. Alright, thanks for sticking through that quick intro, and let me take a quick moment to welcome you to Vintage Road and Rail. And as I said at the outset, this is a GP40. I keep trying to catch myself because for some reason I want to call it an SD40. But this is an EMD GP40, and it's by Bachmann. And this is a DCC only locomotive. It has no sound. And you may have seen this before if you've watched any of my past videos. I did a series talking about the Bachmann Easy Command DCC system that I got some months ago that came with this locomotive right here. And so I did give it a go around, in that 3-part series. And I'll link that up in the top corner, right up here somewhere, as well as at the end of the video if you haven't seen that. But I thought I would take another quick look at it. One, for 2 reasons, just to give it another look and maybe a little bit more detail than what I did before, possibly. But mainly to really kind of test out this new angle, the way I've got this camera positioned. Hopefully that'll work a little bit better. But also, too, I was able to take it down to the Model Railroad Club that I'm a member of and let it make a few laps around there. And I've got some footage of that. And that will be at the end of the video. So with all that out of the way, let's take a quick look. Like I said, GP40. This is by Bachmann. And this is a Rio Grande locomotive, and its number is 3054, and it's in really good shape. It does seem to be a little bit loud when I run it, and we'll talk about that again here in just a moment. But before we do that, let's just kind of give it a go around. So I'm going to zoom in just a tad. There we go. And we can get a little closer look at the top. So we've got 3 fans here for exhaust, and then we've got a 4th one here in the middle, and then we've got another exhaust. And if I understand correctly, I believe this is because this unit has a turbo, and this is going to be the turbo exhaust. I'm not 100% sure on that. If I'm wrong, someone please correct me. And I'm not entirely sure what this is. And if we move forward a little bit more, you can see we got our horn here, right there. And then right here, I believe that's going to be a sand fill cap, right there. All right, so let me zoom back out just a bit so we're not all on the camera there. All right, and so looking a little bit closer on the side, the paint scheme seems to look really good. The handrails they're a little bit bendy, but they don't seem to be overly touchy, if you will. It looks like they should be able to hold up to a little bit of abuse, but I wouldn't test them too much. So we've got a little bit of paint right here on the steps. We've got some molded in detail, some fans right here. Not fans. Some ventilation areas, or some grills right here. And we can see the Rio Grande. And apologize with this pencil. Like I said, I'm testing this out, so I haven't got used to the angles yet. So we've got our truck here. Looks to be in good shape. And let's move forward towards the front. All right. And so let's see here. Got our steps right there. And here's our coupler. This is going to be an easy make coupler. And so if we come around to the front, you can see the handrails here, and we've got a molded in chain. There's no hoses or anything right here in the front. Everything is all molded in. And we've got a headlight, and we got our number boards. And if you were to take this apart, you would find one kind of yellowish light inside that lights up this whole cab area. All right, so let's turn around to the back. And I hope you're getting a good angle on this. So we have the orange and black. I call it a tiger stripe. It's Rio Grande. And we got our backup light here when it goes in reverse. And both of these lights can be dimmed, and I'll show that here in a few minutes. And then here is our Easy Mate coupler. So nothing really new to see on this side, and I think one of the problems I'm seeing is if I don't have my hand in the right spot, I block out a lot of light, so I apologize for that. So again, here's our road number, 3054, and it's Rio Grande. A lot of little molded in detail, but that's all it is. The only thing separately applied is going to be these main handrails along the side and the front. But we do have some paint detail here, which makes that stand out and look a little better. So on the bottom, not really a lot to see, but this is 8-wheel drive, an 8-wheel pickup, and it is DCC. So if you want to get into the innards of this, you just pull this part off. It just pulls straight out. You may have to get a little screwdriver under it to leverage it up just a little bit, but then there will be 2 screws, one here and one on the other corner, that will then let you access the inside. So that's pretty much just a quick go around of this locomotive. So one of the things I had noticed, and if you watched my previous video on this locomotive, I'd made mention that it seemed kind of loud. And when I was running it before shooting this video, it again seemed kind of loud, like there was a lot of extra hum. And I'll demonstrate that here in just a moment. So I did take it apart, and put a little lubrication on the worm gears, both in the front and the back, and ran it around the track, and it seemed to be whisper quiet. But the moment I put the shell back on, it sounded like it did before that. So I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I couldn't figure out anything to do with that. So if anybody has any ideas, let me know. So anyway, that's a quick look around at this locomotive. So we're going to put it on the track here in just a moment, and I'm going to demonstrate the front and the rear headlights, and then I'm also going to show the dimming feature, and we'll let it run a lap or 2 around the track, and then I will end this video here and then cut away to some of the footage of me running it down at my local model railroad club. So hang tight for just 1 second and let me get this off the tripod, and I'll be right back. All right, so this is actually take 2 of me going to show this locomotive going around the track here and taking a look at the headlights. When I was coming through this turnout, this little pin here was catching right there, and it was causing it to short, and it reset my DCC system and everything, and so I had to get these little pliers and straighten that out. Alright, so you can see here our headlight's not on, so we're going to press 0, and then our headlight comes on. If we go up here and press 1, and see how it dims it, and press it again, it brightens. So that works really well. So let's go ahead and move it on off of this siding. Let me get us back in focus here. There it goes. Alright, so let's come on out of this turnout, and we'll take a look at the rear headlight. And it does have a pretty slow crawl, but if you hear that hum, that's what I'm talking about. It doesn't do that when I take the shell off. So I'm not entirely sure what the issue is with that. So anyway, so let's focus in on this rear headlight, and we're going to put the throttle in reverse. And you see the light come on. And if we hit 1 again, dims it, brightens it, hit 0, that turns it off, back on, and we'll dim it 1 more time and brighten it. Alright, so let's put it in forward, and let's just give it a slow crawl and get it up to max speed. It's not overly fast, so that shouldn't be too difficult. but we give it. It does have fairly nice slow crawl, a little bit jerky, but not too bad. So let's kick it up just a little bit more. And I'm not going to pull any cars. This time we're just going to look at the locomotive, because right after this I've got some footage at the train club pulling a few cars. Not a whole lot. I only think it's like either 4 or 8, or sometimes 4 and other times 8. I'm not 100% sure. I did film that a few days ago. But it is pretty good and slow. But you can still hear that noise. Now it does get a little better noise-wise when we speed up. So let's get it to max speed. And that's it. That's as fast as she goes. Alright, so while we're watching this go around the track for a moment, I'll let you know that as near as I can tell, this is a discontinued locomotive. This particular one was sold, bundled with a DCC digital command system by Bachmann, their easy command. And you can no longer get that set, and it looks like you can't get this locomotive either. So if you do want to get one of these, you will have to check a train show, your local train store, or go to eBay. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me here today and taking another look at this GP40 Rio Grande DCC locomotive. And again, I apologize if the earlier footage is a little bit funky. Just experimenting with a new camera angle. Alright, well, thank you very much for joining me here at Vintage Road and Rail. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe, and leave a comment if you've got this same locomotive. Alright, well, thanks for joining me, and happy model railroading. Take care.